Today we're going to be entering the science lab in VXR labs in order to learn how to use some of the spawnables related to biology. So underneath Catalogue you're going to go to International Baccalaureate and scroll down, and then you're going to select Science Lab. Now while you can enter the science lab by yourself, we're going to learn here how we can choose the option Play with Others and invite others into the space with us. So once you click on Play with Others, the first thing you're going to need to do is create a room, and the option for that is in the upper right hand corner. We can choose to make the room private, and then the important thing is to have the room code that you can share with the other people you'll invite into the room with you. Using that room code, everyone can enter into the science lab together. Once you enter into the science lab, the first thing to do is to become familiar with the controls on your wrist. So you're first going to want to choose the menu and then go to Settings and Tracking in order to establish your tracking mode. Now most likely this is going to be done while you're sitting down, so choose the seated mode. The next thing, you're going to open the menu again, only this time you're going to go to the Spawnables catalog. Inside the Spawnables catalog you'll see a number of different collections. Right here we're going to be using the organ collection as an example. Now whichever object you choose to use, all you need to do is click on it and it will appear in the science lab. In this case I've chosen a trachea. You can see the trachea in the lab in the center of your screen. Now the important thing here is to learn how to manipulate a spawnable, so watch the hand in the middle of the video as we learn how to do this. To take control of the object, you're going to use your right index finger. And you only have control of that object when you see the name of the object. So notice in far distance it says trachea, and it's giving us the option to delete or clone in the small circle on the left hand side. Now to then manipulate the object, you're going to hold down your index finger and then also squeeze your middle finger, and the options in that circle now change to reset scale, snap and toggle, or move and scale. At this point, you can now use the joystick with the thumb of your right hand in order to move that object closer towards you or further away from you. You can also move that joystick right and left in order to change the size of the object to make it bigger or smaller. Once you've mastered how to manipulate one object, you can go back to your wrist and menu and have a look at the other spawnables available and see if there's another one that you would like to display that may be related to the first one. In this case, I've chosen the lungs, and I can manipulate this object to change its size and location in relation to the trachea. And you can keep adding objects, as many or as few as you like, in order to achieve the task that you've been set by your teacher. However, there may be some cases where you wish to rotate the object so it's in the correct orientation relative to your other objects. To do this is relatively simple. Notice that you have the option to press down on the joystick, and that when you do, it changes your choices from move and scale to rotate. You can then rotate the object to the correct orientation relative to your other objects and put it where you want it to be. Another feature of being in this space is that you have access to tools on your wrist. Now you can access those tools by pointing at it, but as soon as you get the orange laser, the way you make selections is by using your right index finger. So here with our 3D pen, we can actually label the parts of the objects that we have put together. So in this case, I'm labeling this the lung, and then the next piece would be labeled the trachea, and then finally I'm also going to label the diaphragm. Now we can also switch off the 3D pen function by going back to our wrist and using our right index finger, because we have that orange laser, to click 3D pen, and you should see the 3D pen disappear from the space. At that point, you can then manipulate the 3D drawing the same way that you would any other object, including the opportunity to delete it. And that's how you can put together objects in this science lab.